The security guard, with a smug grin, forced the man in the MAGA hat to kneel in the middle of the lobby. Employees whispered, some secretly recording, while he barked orders. "Take off that hat and get lost." It seemed like humiliation had reached its peak, but what happened just minutes later turned everyone's world upside down. Sean, a 42-year-old man with sharp eyes and a quiet air of authority, walked through the glass doors of a towering office building in Manhattan. He wore a red MAGA hat that stood out against his tailored navy blue suit. The building, newly acquired by Sean after months of grueling negotiations, was his latest investment. Today he planned to walk the halls unannounced, observing without the usual fanfare of an owner's grand entrance. At the reception desk, a woman in a sleek gray suit gave him a once-over, her eyes narrowing as they landed on his hat, her lips pressed into a thin, disapproving line. "We have a strict dress code," she said curtly, gesturing to a sign that read, "Business attire only." Sean offered a polite smile, explaining that he was there on official business and simply wanted to tour the property. But before she could respond, a security guard appeared from around the corner. This was Tom, 35, broad-shouldered and built like a linebacker, with a buzz cut and a perpetual scowl. His demeanor screamed no nonsense, but it was tinged with a smug arrogance. "Hey, buddy," Tom barked, his voice echoing through the lobby. "Looks like you're in the wrong place. We don't cater to your kind here." Sean paused, raising an eyebrow but remaining calm. He explained again, clearly and firmly, why he was there. Tom, however, wasn't listening. "Take off that stupid hat or get out," Tom growled, stepping closer, his chest puffed out. The tension in the lobby thickened as employees began to gather, whispering among themselves. Sean, still composed, simply said, "I don't think that will be necessary." Tom smirked, clearly interpreting Sean's calm demeanor as weakness. Tom wasn't done asserting his dominance. When Sean didn't comply, the security guard stepped forward, grabbing him roughly by the arm. Sean stood his ground, not flinching, but the sudden aggression drew gasps from the onlookers. "You're testing my patience," Tom snarled, twisting Sean's arm and shoving him to his knees. The MAGA hat toppled onto the polished marble floor, its bright red color stark against the pristine white surface. "This is ridiculous," Sean said, his tone still measured but now laced with steel. His piercing gaze locked onto Tom, who either didn't notice or didn't care. "You're lucky I don't call the cops on you," Tom sneered. "People like you don't belong in places like this." The murmurs from the surrounding crowd grew louder. Some employees had started filming the incident, their phones capturing every humiliating detail. A woman in the crowd called out, "Tom, you're taking it too far." But Tom, drunk on his perceived authority, ignored her. Sean adjusted his tie, brushing dust from his knees as he looked up at the guard. His calmness was unnerving, like a storm gathering just beneath the surface. A tense silence hung in the air as Sean rose to his feet, dusting off his suit despite Tom's attempts to shove him back down. Just as the scene reached its boiling point, a man in an impeccably tailored suit burst into the lobby. It was Mr. Hoffman, the building's general manager, and his face turned ashen when he saw what was happening. "What the hell is going on here?" Hoffman demanded, his voice trembling with a mix of anger and panic. Before Tom could respond, Hoffman's eyes widened in recognition. "Oh my God, Mr. Wilson!" he exclaimed, rushing toward Sean. "I am so sorry. Please, let me explain." Sean raised a hand, silencing him with a calm yet authoritative gesture. The crowd erupted into whispers as the realization spread. Sean wasn't just another visitor. He was the new owner of the building. Tom's confidence evaporated in an instant. His face went pale, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water as he struggled to process the revelation. Sean finally turned to Tom, his expression icy. "You've made your position here very clear," he said. I'll be sure to remember it when we're making staffing decisions." The words hit like a sledgehammer, and Tom visibly deflated. Sean bent down, picked up his MAGA hat, and placed it back on his head with deliberate precision. Without another glance at Tom, he addressed Hoffman. "Show me to my office," Sean said, his tone calm but commanding. Hoffman nodded frantically, leading Sean to the elevators as the crowd parted like the Red Sea. Behind them, Tom stood frozen, his career hanging by a thread, while whispers of the incident spread like wildfire.